Hello, BookTube. Well, as you can see, I have yet another guest. I am Little Miss Popularity. This is Sarah from Bookish Knitter. Care to say hi to my imaginary BookTube friends? My imaginary BookTube friends are your imaginary BookTube friends.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
But this chat, I mean, Sarah and I could chat about anything all
Mhm.
day long, but this chat is in response to a little dust storm that I kicked up accidentally last night on a live stream.
On purpose.
And to talk about a bunch of other things. I merely meant to say that I have too many print and paper books. That's all.
Mhm.
It devolved into a feces throwing contest between Team Paper and Team Screen. My foremost ally on Team Screen was you.
Oh, yeah.
So that immediately suggested a chat about e-reading and
Yes.
e-reading devices. And keep in mind, neither Sarah nor I can be accused of hypocrisy. Behind her are 80 million printed books. Behind me are
Easily.
80 million printed books.
Easily.
Nevertheless, we're talking about advantages here, preferences here, uh, a clear example of someone building a better mousetrap here.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
before we both loaded up with props to show you all. We are both what a young nephew of mine refers to as geekosauruses. But before that, I want to ask: do you remember your introduction to electronic reading?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I got my first e-reader on my honeymoon. My husband and I were on our honeymoon just in a small town up north in Northern Ontario,
So it was to
and,
while away the tedium.
right, yeah. When you pay for everything yourself, you can't go to the Bahamas, let me tell you. So we went to a Chapters, which is a Barnes and Noble, in Canada, and the Kobo, the first Kobo, had just been released. And Garrett and I are both readers, and we jokingly said to each other, we had wedding money, and he's like, "Let's buy each other a wedding gift." So we each bought each other a Kobo, and that was the very first one. I remember mine was in white and his was in black. But that was, what are we going back? 14 years ago now?
15
Yeah,
years ago, yeah.
yeah.
Do you think you would have done that if you hadn't been able to see the device in person?
I think so. I think it was definitely I needed to see it, to see what it looked like and to see what it did.
I'm not sure that I would have bought an e-reader blind myself.
Mhm.
I
Not
mean,
just off of Amazon, like, yeah, no, no, no.
you don't know, right? I mean, there is we talk about. I always talk about how the physical attributes of books, especially their smell, are a little
Okay,
bit
well,
overrated by people, and just a tiny bit. I always talk about how those physical elements aren't as important as people say they are, but the physical element of anything that you buy is important.
of course it is.
So you had that original Kobo.
Yep.
Do you still have it?
No. I had it for many years. I had it for about 2 or 3 years, and then I actually gave it to my dad because I think I upgraded. I can't remember I think I upgraded to a Kindle, and I gave that to my dad, and I'm pretty sure my dad read off that for another 5 or 6 years. He would take it in the truck with him at work and just read a book because he loved it. He thought it was so great. He didn't have to carry around because he read Tom Clancy. He read dad books,
Oh my god.
right? 600,
I'm
700
glad
page book. It's like,
So do you know? I haven't actually looked this up online, but do you know if it's widely reported that those original Kobos are still working?
I have no idea. I think my husband's almost sure his is in a box in the basement. I'll have to see if I can get him to dig it out and charge it up and see if it works. I would be interested to see if it still works.
The American equivalent, of course, is the Kindle. Uh,
Yeah,
sorry, is that the bean in the background?
that's all right.
Just sort
Hello,
just sort of staring into space.
ma'am.
She's not a morning person at all. Despite the fact
It's
that
almost
some days
afternoon time.
she's really not a morning person. Really not. She really doesn't like to get started. It makes her sick. But I like to get up at 5 or 6 in the morning, and that just makes her sick. Oh my god.
Are
But
you crazy?
uh, what was it? Oh, right. There are videos online all the time about original issue Kindles or original issue Barnes and Noble Nooks that do still
Mhm.
work. But people, they power up and you can read on them, but people don't use them because of other factors. I mean, if you powered up that original Kobo, it would have no space, right?
Oh God, no,
No
no.
storage. It would be probably slow. The page turning
Oh,
would be slow.
yes, yes.
So by the time you passed that on to your dad. You had already moved on to another device. Is Kindle more popular in Canada than Kobo?
I think
More
I
popular
think
everywhere?
Kindle's more popular because Amazon is Amazon, right? But I think Kobo is more popular in Canada than the US because of it A being available in like you said, the Nook is available in Barnes and Noble. For us, you can buy the Kobo in store, so you can
Right.
look at it, you can hold it, you can
Go right
see it,
in the store.
right? Plus, the fact is like for you guys in the US, if you want to borrow a book from your library digitally, you can borrow it onto your Kindle. We don't have that ability. They have not meshed yet. So that is with Kobo. So if I want to borrow ebooks from my library, I have to read it off my Kobo. So that's part of what I think they're more popular here than in the US.
So do I get the impression from your videos, I get the impression that you sort of cycle through your e-readers?
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. Depending on what book I have on what device, like, and I have, and I'll be honest, I have 4 Kobos, 4 of them, and I have 3 Kindles.
Which Kindles do you have?
I have the basic. I like the basic. I have the Paperwhite, not the signature, just the regular Paperwhite, and I have the Oasis. Oh, and I have a Kindle Fire. So 4 Kindles.
But okay, but the Kindle Fire, just color tablets, just in general. Are you of the common
I'm
mind frame that
not a fan.
you
If
don't like
you give
reading them?
me this and this, like this is the basic, right? The weight difference between these two, I would rather hold this in my hand all day long than try and hold off of this. And I know last night people were saying in your comments about, oh, I look at a screen all day. I don't want to look at a screen at night. This is what they're talking about, is that bright blue backlight. I challenge them to try to read off of a e-ink device. It is completely different.
It does feel
On
completely different. I didn't
completely
think there
just
was.
like
I don't ever experience that kind of eye strain with the
no,
blue
me
light
neither.
from backlit screens, so I kind of dismissed it. And then one night, I was reading on my iPad Mini. I was reading on an iPad Mini for a couple of hours, and when I stopped, when I closed my eyes, I could see the pages. That's got to be bad for your eyes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that doesn't happen with. Sorry, we're having a bit of a drama going on back there. So, you
Plus,
snap.
I find with the tablets is they're too easily distractible. Even if you turn off all the pop-ups,
Oh
you're
yeah,
reading going, oh, I wonder what's if anybody's emailed me, and you just click it, you know what I mean? It's just too easily to be distracted. Or like having Frida there.
she's going nuts back there. I don't know why. She does this when I film in this room. She goes nuts. I don't know why. Maybe because she's not the center of attention.
Yeah. Hello.
Very sweet. She's still traumatized from our early morning walk because we met a big puppy,
Oh my.
a dog who was no more than 10 months old, but he was 5 times her size. He came up to
Oh my
my
goodness.
waist, and they sniffed each other, all the normal preliminaries, and then I could see it on his face. I could see that what he was going to do was swat her across the face out of play. I could see him thinking of it. And I wanted to say, I think I did say out loud, "Oh, baby boy, don't do that. Don't, that's going to set her off like a tea kettle." But it was too late. He did. And she screamed at him for like the next 5 minutes. He's still recovering from that. But a point that I wanted to make in that comments field, in those comments last night, in addition to the people saying, I look at a screen all day long, I don't want to look at a screen when I'm reading. I also wanted to say to them, well, okay, but you're not reading Jane Austen all day long. Surely what you're reading on a screen makes a difference, or no?
Hmm.
But what? Okay, this is turning into just me quizzing you about e-tech, but that's fine by me. You have that whole stack of
Yeah.
Kobos and Kindles. Do
Yeah.
you, and you cycle around all of your various e-readers, but do you have a preference? Do you actually prefer? I have a Kobo here, this thing.
You've got that's the Libra.
I
Is
have
that the Libra?
this thing.
No, that's an older model.
It's got the power button up on the top there. It's got this thing is raised so that you can
Yep.
grip it really easily, and it's got the page turn buttons. But I also have this thing, very ornate. It also is a Kobo, but
That I think is your Libra.
it has a pencil.
Oh, see, no, okay, so that I think that might be no, I think you've got different. I've got the newest ones. My favorite though is the Scribe, which is one of their higher end. It's the Beast. It's got the slightly raised edge. It's got
Right.
the button here, but this is not the granddaddy. At first, this was the one that was comparable to the Kindle Scribe, but now they've issued a new one called the Ellipse. It's like $500. It's a bigger screen than this. It comes with the pencil, or you know what I mean, like the writing doohickey, and it lets you take notes just exactly like the Kindle Scribe, but that's not what I need. I don't take notes. I'm not a note taker when I read. So why am I gonna, this is
Would you
good enough.
really like reading on a device that size?
Oh God, yeah. Because this thing is light as a feather.
So
I
that
love it.
is a Scribe, sort of an older version that doesn't do writing?
No, this is
Could it?
brand no, this is brand new. This is new this year, but it doesn't do writing. The Ellipsa does writing. But I'm saying in size comparison, it would be comparison to the Scribe for Kindle. But no, I because my eyes are not what they used to be. Let's be real. I'm not 28 like you are, Steve. Um, I like to push the font up nice and big. You know, like
In my own defense, I have advised all of you against aging. I don't know why you insist on it. It's really a weird decision.
given the choice, Steve, I would have stopped several years ago.
I have one of those larger. I think it is a Scribe, and
Mhm.
I haven't yet been able to acclimate to reading on something that big. Something like
So
this,
that
is
is the
so
Sage, not the
convenient.
Scribe. That's the Sage. My pad.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
a 10-inch e-reader.
yeah.
The little things are so easy. They're so much easier to do.
Just
I mean,
you
this
can
is
put this in your
always
back
with me.
pocket.
It's always in my hand.
Yes.
Uh,
Yep.
Whereas the tablet, the bigger thing that I have, I should try it. I should give it a concerted try and see if I really enjoy it. Uh, but my question was, is there, just generally speaking, as a category, are there things that the Kobos just do better aside from outside the Kobo features like library lending or whatnot? What about just the use of it in your hand? Do you prefer the Kobos to the Kindle?
I find them about the same, to be completely honest, but it's the outside stuff that I like better for the Kobos. I like the fact that you can side load, which you cannot do on a Kindle.
No.
Like that's great because especially when you're reading stuff from NetGalley or from publishers or what have you, to be able
Right.
to side load that book onto that, I'd rather do that all day long.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot easier. With a Kindle, you have to email it to the Kindle email address, and that
but
sometimes
even that, they're starting to get a little fishnickety, so
yeah.
I don't want to go there. But
Now with
I
the
also
Kobo, it's
find,
easy. It just shows up on your desktop. You just move things right over.
well, exactly. And the other great thing is as because I do buy ebooks, is that I sometimes even what happens is if an ebook goes on sale, it's usually on sale both on Kindle and on Kobo. So the choice is yours as the, you know, person making the purchase. But on Kobo, you actually get points when you make purchases. And if you get so many points, you can get a free book. Well, if I'm going to pay the same price, why not get points to get a free book? Right? I mean, I know it seems silly, but it's a great marketing strategy
I think that Kindle also has points, but
in
because
the
it's
US, not in Canada.
okay. Well, in
That's
the
why,
I mean, it's a US company, so
right?
you do get points when you buy ebooks. You get,
Yes.
I think, once you've accumulated 3,000 points, you get $1.50 off a book, and
Oh, okay.
very helpfully calculate how many decades it will take you to get there. Not really very helpful. I get regular notices about my Kindle points. Only 30,000 to go. Thanks anyway. but
See,
what about
3,600 points will get me an Harlequin book.
well, I agree. The point system is better.
Hmm.
Aside from,
Oh
I
my.
think you're talking about intrinsic qualities. Like, for instance, do you notice that Kobo battery life is longer?
Oh my God, yes.
Really? Much longer?
When I got the Sage, this is actually my second Sage. I got the first one at Christmas last year,
Let's see that.
and that's the Beast. And I brought it home and I plugged it in to charge it because I had just bought it. So I thought I'll give it a full charge. And I started reading on it. And then my husband and I had to run out to the store. So I left it sitting on the bed, like without the charger in it. I came home and it was dead. And I went, hold on a second. Clearly, this is a lemon, right? So I tried it again. I thought, let's just give it a full charge and try it again. Same thing happened. In an hour, it was dead. And I thought, this is the most useless device. So I walked it back to Chapters and I said, I'm not interested. And I returned it. So then when I came into some money earlier this year, I thought, let's try again. Maybe I just did get a lemon, and I did. The battery life on this thing will last me 2 weeks. If I did nothing but read on it, I can read off it for 2 weeks.
And 2 weeks
And
of
this is a
reading
big,
when it's you, that's a
yeah,
lot of use. That's not just, a
yeah.
half an hour here
No,
and
2 or 3 hours a day for two
wow.
weeks, probably. Yeah. My only complaint with Kobo is they take too long to power up. So like if I press the power button, if like it's been off, so like if I press the power button on this is my right. You press it and it takes a good minute
Mm.
sometimes for it to power up, which is a bit of a pain. But
Mm.
it is what it is.
So what about you? So you've got this stack of e-readers and you cycle through them. There's none of them that you hate. You obviously
No,
like them all in one way or another.
of course.
What has that done to print and paper books for you?
Well, the one that I've been showing, the book I'm reading on the Sage, the what's it called? Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. I own the physical book of this. It's somewhere over here. And I started reading on it and I went, no. Oh, look, my library has it. Download. I would prefer to read ebooks all day long. It's easier on my eyes. I can lay in bed at night with the lights off and not disturb anybody and read my book. It's just, and then the other thing you don't get, at least I find, being someone who still works in a corporate environment, is that when I'm reading at my desk, I don't get, what are you reading?
Right, right. Right.
War and Peace, leave me alone.
The weirdest thing in the world. I will never understand why an open paper book always elicits that response.
Yeah,
Always.
yep,
No matter what. You could be on the subway. If
yep,
people see that, they view it as an invitation to talk when it's a keep out sign. But
yep,
they still. So,
yep.
but that doesn't happen even when you're on an e-reader,
Well,
not your phone.
I'll still get, what are you reading? But I find I can lie a bit easier and not say like alien romance and instead say Jane Austen.
I've noticed that it doesn't happen as often.
For
And
some reason.
I think that it's an extension of the unspoken social code that we've all adopted about people on their phones.
Oh,
If you're on your phone, that means you don't bother the person. And
correct.
it seems just close enough to being on a phone so that convention sort of extends to it.
Exactly. That's my thought too.
And the e-reader saves you. I've talked to so many romance readers over the last decade who say that in
Hmm.
addition to everything else, being able to change the font, having 50 books right there at the same time without lugging books around, in addition to everything else, romance readers especially have told me it is such a relief not to be judged by the cover of what I'm reading. I
That
don't,
too.
no one can even see it.
Hmm. Hmm. 100%. Yeah, that's exactly it. And for me, the convenience factor, at least going forward with what I'm dealing with my health, that when I do start spending more time in hospital, I bring a Kobo and a Kindle with me and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
They have Wi-Fi at the hospital. If I want a book, I can buy one. I don't have to wait to order it online and have it delivered. you know,
And
Stack
you
of
don't
books.
have to worry about, for the most part, you don't have to worry about charging.
God, no.
I thought about that in this room, in the little book room here. I set up, I have all my stuff
Hmm.
in one place by the nightstand. And I was thinking,
Yep.
okay, well, I have a power strip and it has the power cord for a MacBook so that I don't have to worry if I don't have to think about that. There'll be
Yes.
a charging cord right there. And I thought
Yes.
about, okay, I need to go through all the cabinets here and find the power cord for, the Kindle or the Kobo. And then I realized, no, I don't need to do that. I can just leave it there. Once a
Yeah.
month, I can look for the power cord. I don't need to charge it every day. Uh, oh, Zoom
What?
tells me we're running out of time. We have so much ground to cover.
I
Notice
know, we'll have to do this again, a part 2.
my mention of the sneering condescension of that people give to people who are reading romance books, books with romance covers. That
Mhm.
brings us right on to our usual topic about the social acceptance of reading romance novels.
Exactly.
If we got on there, we'd need another hour. We should stick
Easily.
with the topic of e-reading. So you mentioned, okay, you have a print copy of a book, but if it's available on your Kindle, you would rather read it there. I've had that happen to me.
As long as I don't have to pay for it, I will not pay for it again.
Right. No, you
But if
don't
I
want.
can grab it for free, 100%, yes.
So what does that do to your thoughts about the books on your shelves?
See, for me, my Harlequin category romance are my babies. When I purge a lot of these, I think those are going to stay because that's a collection. That's not just, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But everything else, as far as I'm concerned, can probably go. I can get it unless it's like a certain edition. Like I have this gorgeous set of the Bridgertons from the UK, so that I'll keep. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't see the point in having. I can I can just pick it up on my Kindle or my Kobo.
Yep. I get called a barbarian for saying that sort of thing, but I always want to point out to people, if I walked through your book collection, especially if it's really big,
Yes.
I could point out, I could point out dozens and dozens and dozens of hardcover or paperback copies of things that you're never going to touch, except to put it in a box and move. You're never going to
Yes.
touch it.
Yes.
I have a lot of those kinds of things.
Mhm.
There just is no reason for it. None at all when it's just so much more convenient
I know. I
on.
know.
And you take precautions, right? With your ebooks, you have a database for them. You
Oh, I'm putting that together now. I'm in the process of putting a database together. Yes. Because I want to know what I have too instead of having to search through to see do I have it on this, do I have it on that? Because once they've changed the cover, like I've noticed this a lot with Kindle. If they reissue the book with a new cover and you go on to Amazon to purchase it, it will show that you don't own it.
yeah.
When in fact you do own a copy of it. It's just got a different cover. So
What
that's
about,
really frustrating.
what about a repository of the books themselves? Do you fiddle with your electronic copies? Do you like
Oh,
um,
do I put them into to folders and stuff like that on the
put them in,
devices?
store them in a cloud or on cloud
Oh
server?
God, no, no,
No,
no,
no.
no.
So
They're there. I've never had a book disappear on me.
right, that is the cautionary tale with these things is always that Amazon or Kobo could reach into your device and remove a book. But I that is the cautionary tale that comes up in every single article on this subject. But I've never met anyone who had that happen to.
It's just as easy for me to lose a book, a physical book, in a move, or like my poor old cat did, peed on half of my books, and I had to get rid of them. Like,
Yeah, the closest that I've ever heard is Michael K. Vaughan last year mentioned that he had an e-copy of a book and then it had a movie of some kind, so
mhm.
it's a movie cover. And when he
Yes.
looked for his e-copy of the book on his device, it now had the movie cover, which he didn't want.
Mm,
He wasn't
I get
consulted
that.
with that. That was just done because it had the same ISBN. So
Yeah.
that was suddenly that book. That horrified a lot of people. That horrified me. I swear, all the booktube was doing all paper and print TBRs for the next 2 days, for the next 2 months
Yeah.
because of that one detail. But that's rare.
And to the flip side of that, I have a book on my Kindle. It's a Harlequin historical. It's a Halloween anthology. You can still buy it on thrift books if you want the physical edition, but for a while they sold the digital copy, and I bought a copy of it because I really love that book. Well, Lisa Plumley got her rights back to her books, so Harlequin was no longer allowed to publish them. So they removed that book from Kindle. You couldn't buy it anymore. But because I bought it before they took it away, it's still there. I can bring it up on my Kindle right now and read it.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
that's another video that we need to do. We need to do a video and go through next month's Harlequins,
oh, yes.
title by title. What do you think? What do you know? You've probably talked to half the authors. So what's that like? what are the variations here, what's of interest and what's not. Oh my god.
We could do a StreamYard live on my channel if you wanted.
Well, I was just about to say we would need more than 40 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah, we would.
Oh man. Like for instance, we should set this up right away
Yes,
because we
yes.
could talk about December's books or November's books.
November's books. Yes, November's books. I'm available this week.
Well, that's right. When you say I've got wide open availability this week, I always want to say, oh, that's great, and then I remember why.
Well, no, 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 no. I am working. I am still working at this point for the next little while. So I want to be normal as long as I possibly can.
Yes. Although, as I mentioned, as I mentioned in your comment when you said, "Well, it keeps me sane," and I said you're a booktuber, so sane is going a bit far. I'm afraid I have to say the same thing about your claims to be normal.
That's true. This is a true fact.
None of us who do this are actually normal. Oh, let's set that up. Let's have a Harlequin meeting. Oh,
Yes.
wouldn't that be fun?
100%.
Do you have the ability in StreamYard to put pictures up?
No, but what I can do is I can put my laptop screen up. So you can see what I'm looking at on my laptop. So I have the ability to do that.
Oh
So
my.
we can do it, Steve. Yeah.
Let's set that up.
Yep.
I don't know what the rest of Romance Tube will think. You
I
do
don't care.
it like that with a 500-year-old geezer, but it'll be so much fun.
People would
Maybe
love
we'll
it.
convert them.
People would love it, I'm sure. No, and just to say that all those November books are being released on Tuesday.
Mm.
Just saying.
What about Tuesday?
I was gonna say. If you're available, you let me know what time. I am home by 6 o'clock.
I will email you.
And I think on Tuesday I'm gonna need it after my appointment.
I think so too. And we can do it on Tuesday. We'll set a time. I'll hurl my pants off, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready to go.
If my husband was walking by right now, he'd be very concerned. Until he realized it was you, and then just, oh, okay.
And then it's only Steve. Okay,
Yeah.
he's just being a pervy old man. Like, there are people all over the world who are passing by the doorway. They hear something and they go, "Oh, it's just Steve." All right, good. Then we'll wrap this video up for now. We are team
Yes.
screen.
Yes.
It feels kind of weird to say because you've probably bought in your life a million
Oh,
papers.
good Lord.
So have I.
Yeah.
It's just a question of reading comfort. That's all.
Things changed.
Yes.
Roll
Yes.
with it.
Someone built a better mousetrap.
Exactly. Exactly.
Does it have negatives that you can list? It does occasionally need to be recharged. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The device does sometimes go out, become obsolete. My first Nooks don't work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Books have at least as many drawbacks. At least as many. Paper books have at least that many. You just don't think of them that way because they're the only thing you've ever known. You've grown up with them.
Yep.
I know you're not the only indefatigable reader I know who loves reading on a screen. So it's not just a couple of weirdos, or it's a large number of weirdos.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, well, we'll wrap this up for now, and we will do a Harlequin walkthrough on Tuesday.
On my channel, yes.
What
Stay
fun
tuned.
that will be! Oh my, I'll leave a link to Sarah's channel down below. We will do that. Take you through what Harlequin is bringing out in November.
Yes.
Oh,
So excited.
oh, that is.
Yay.
All right, well, let's wrap this up for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
We'll end this video and we'll be back on Tuesday.
Yes.